Hello everyone. Welcome to Halima's Art Room, and thank you for coming back to my channel. Let's see what I paint today. Okay, so with a mix of cadmium red light and permanent rose and a little bit of titanium white, I mix it together and thin it with some solvent so I can tone my board. I am now taking a piece of paper towel and rubbing the paint around onto the board. This is an easy way to cover the board without doing it with a brush, but you could use a large brush if you wish. Okay, now it's time to start the drawing phase. And I'm going to start with the horizon line using a mix of burnt umber and phthalo blue. I've put the reference photo up in the corner there so you can see as I draw. So this is just a basic loose drawing. It doesn't have to be anything special. I'm just making basic cloud shapes, marking each form in the clouds there. Now it's time to work on the landscape composition. And I'm starting with the fields in the very back towards the horizon line. And I'm just using little squiggles and turning my brush to create, groups of trees and then a line separating the fields. I'm editing as I go along, so it isn't exactly the same as the photo. I'm adding some fields, taking away fields, adding more trees, and things like that. I am also remembering to widen the fields as they come towards the foreground. The ones in the background are very much together because they're in the distance. And so as they come to the foreground, they're going to get a bit wider. And that should give a lot of depth to the painting. All right, this is where I end the voiceover. And as I go into the painting phase, it will be me talking while I paint. Okay, so let's start with the blue part of the clouds. And I have a mixture of titanium white, not burnt umber, French ultramarine blue and phthalo blue, with a bit more phthalo blue than ultramarine blue to keep it more on the green side instead of making it a cool blue. And I'm just scooping it off of my palette knife, which I have added a little bit of Impasto gel to. And I am laying it in very loosely. So at the top of the painting, because I want to give some depth and give some space and expand the sky, it's going to be a bit darker at the top here. And as I make my way down towards the horizon line, it's going to lighten up and warm up a bit, become more turquoise. So I'm going to create a new color now. Okay, I have a mixture here. Oops, I can't see. I have a mixture here of, so it's the same mix as this one, except I added more titanium white and more phthalo blue, and then I added some cobalt turquoise, which is by Norma Professional Oil Paints. And I am putting that in just under where I have that other blue. And then I'm making sure I mix in to the top as well so that it doesn't look so separate. Okay, at this point there are some places where the sky breaks and it has a bit of blue in there, so I'm going to add some in this area. And then right under this cloud mass here. Because I was paused this whole time, I thought I had pressed play. I didn't. Anyway, I used a lighter color here. I lightened this up with more white and more of the cobalt turquoise and got that color. I thought I was filming this whole time and I wasn't. I paused it and didn't unpause it, so sorry about that. Okay, so now I'm going to mix a lighter color to go under the clouds here next to the horizon line, which is going to be a very pale turquoise. Okay, so here's that mixture. And now I'm adding it in right underneath the clouds. I have a mixture of burnt umber and the phthalo blue, which I was using for my drawing here, this dark color. I added some titanium white to this color. I added more ultramarine blue and a lot of titanium white, and I got a kind of grayish green here. And this is going to go where the dark parts of the clouds are. So I'm just gonna put those in probably this way so my arm won't get in the way of the camera. So wherever I see it, I'm just going to place it there, not being too overly careful of where I put it. All right, time to put the middle tone in this area. So this is going to be the color that transitions the dark parts of the clouds into a middle tone before you go into the lighter parts or the white parts. So I'm going to put that all in and start on the landscape. Okay, I've cleaned my brush off as much as possible. Doesn't matter if the other color is still on it, it's going to mix in anyways. So to the mixture I had before, I added more titanium white, and then I added a tiny bit of alizarin crimson to it to make a reddish gray. And now I'm going to fill in where I see that middle tone. I'm going to go in the direction that I see in the cloud. So maybe some are up and down in direction or going up and across to hint at the tops. And then broader strokes to hint at some movement here. And I think there's a lot of movement in the top section. So I'm going to make sure I put that in. So a lighter blue-gray here. And now I'm going to fill in the rest. I've mixed together the cobalt turquoise with some lemon yellow and titanium white. And I'm going to put in the fields at the very back by the horizon line because it's going to be cooler in this area. And then as it comes to the foreground, the colors are going to get bolder and warmer. Okay? This also gives a depth to it, so it gives off a hazy look in the back of the. I keep saying the back. I know it doesn't look like the back, but it's giving it a lot of depth. So I keep saying back. I guess I mean to say to push it back, but no. I think you understand what I'm saying. Get rid of this for a bit. Now, because some of the fields are in shadow, as you will see in some of these areas in here, I'm going to make this mixture even, taking half of it, of the mixture, and making it even cooler in color by adding some phthalo blue to it. So you see, now it's more blue than green. Make sure I clean my brush and then add that color in here. Got a bit of some fluff on my brush here. I'm going to block this section up with trees, and that's better. Let's see wherever I need to put it. Okay. Okay, so now it's time to get more emerald greens in here. Warm them up a tiny bit in this middle area. Okay, I've added some viridian and some more phthalo blue to the mixture. I added some cadmium yellow pale with a bit of orange and more titanium white to get this warmer green. Wiping off my brush now. And I'm going to lay that in where I see the warm tones. Making sure to wipe off my brush before I get more paint on it. It keeps the colors clean, and also it's okay if it mixes into the undertone a little bit, but then I don't want to mix that undertone back onto new paint. That will make the colors muddy. All right, now to add the wheat color. To the green color, I know it sounds weird, but I try to not waste paint. That's not the weird part. The weird part is that to this warm green color I had here, I added some cadmium red light and a little bit of permanent rose and then more white to get this pinky orangey peachy color. Okay. Here we are at the last bit of the underpainting stage. And yeah, I thought this would be really nice to show you a longer kind of explanation of my painting process and a longer video showing how I would start a landscape. I don't usually have the background, by the way, the red. This is new. But even if I didn't have the red, this is exactly how I would start, except the underpainting would take up more of the space. You wouldn't have the nice red bits in between. I hope that watching my process has unlocked maybe a new way of painting for yourself, or something you might add or do differently or try in your painting practice. Also, I hope it inspires you to just paint something. Even if it's not perfect, you're not trying to sell it, or you just want to have fun and get out and paint. Hope this made it easier for you to know where to begin. Okay, I think, yes, that's it for now. I probably will show how I use the palette knife in a different video when I'm working on another large painting. But I need to get going with this painting, and I'm kind of distracted at the moment, talking and doing all this at the same time. But I hope this was informative and interesting. And yes, give me your thoughts below. And thanks for watching. Bye.